Let's see if everybody can hear me and see me. Here's hoping, because if this happens again, I don't think we can do the episode tonight. Don't you just love how, a platform will just pull the plug on you without any warning? That's fun. That's super fun. All right, let's see if this is working. Because I don't want to get too far ahead into the broadcast, as in 6 minutes into the broadcast, and it just yanks the plug on me. Let's see. Oh, sure. Now the tube of you is working. Okay. Tube of you's working. Don't know about the Book of Face, but I will double check. Okay. Super irritating, guys. All right, let's see if I can find our fine feathered Book of Face friends and encourage them to come on over to the tube of you, because that seems to be the place that's actually working. Super irritating, guys. All right. I'm really not sure why. Okay. Where are my events? Literally less than 5 minutes in on the Book of Face, and it just went cool. Very cool. All right. Let me drop this link into the discussion over there. And here is hoping on oh, good. Oh my God. It won't let me comment. That's hilarious. All right. Let's see. Hopefully we don't drop out again. Let's see if that'll actually post. Let's try that there. Okay. Come back to me, friends. Come back. I'm going to also post it over here. Super irritating, but all right. Because if you guys can't participate in this, then it's not really a tarot reading for the collective from the collective, is it? Oh, it's so irritating. I mean, I can attempt to try it again from both places or just on the Book of Face, but the Book of Face is the one that said I was violating their terms of service and just chopped off my my feed without warning. So, you know. Super fun. Anyway, welcome to the episode. I haven't even pulled the cards yet. I haven't even pulled the tarot reading for the collective yet. As I was saying before we were rudely interrupted on part 1, which was over on the Book of Face, which then chopped off. I haven't even pulled the cards yet because I could not for the life of me find my spread cloth from the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth, where it has different symbols on it. And those symbols are the key to different tarot spreads. And so over the years that I've been doing this live stream, over 6 years to be exact, I've been trying to, every January, do the 13 moon spread from the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth, which is a really good general overall reading for the year ahead, in which one card is representative of each month of the year. And then the 13 moon, or the 13th card in the center, is the overall theme for the year. And what I have taken to doing is doing both the year card as calculated by adding up the digits in that year, and then matching it up to a major arcana card, and also pulling a random tarot card, or as random as tarot seldom is. So usually I will do 2 cards for the theme, the random card and then also the year card calculated by the numerological year. And like I was saying before, could not for the life of me find the spirit cloth, which this reading is based on. So I had to do it from memory, which is fine. I have not pulled those cards yet but I was going to do that live on the broadcast, and then the broadcast kicked out. So we were starting a little bit later than expected. Oh, Katie found us here. Okay, cool. Welcome, Katie. Hello. Thank you for joining us over on the two of you. That's what happened, guys. I started this over on the Book of Face. We're now on the two of you. Hopefully this stays in motion. I did try to broadcast to both, and for some reason the two of you is working now, but not the Book of Face. Yes, Murphy's Law, working his fun. Yeah, anything that can go wrong will. Which I was referencing when the feed kicked out, so let me not reference it too much. That happens a lot when we talk about Mercury retrograde. I mention it too many times, and then it fucks with my technology. So let's not tempt fate. At least the second time was the charm here, or hopefully it will be the charm. So tarot reading for the collective for the year 2026. I encourage people that were watching over on the other platform to please come on over here, or let them know if you can. Hey, Hillary's doing the reading. She didn't go away. It was not her fault. Come over here. The water's fine. So I'm going to attempt to do the 13 moons from memory. Just a regular plain spread cloth is spread out here next to me. It's actually the backside of a Ciro Marchetti Grand Tableau spread cloth that he did in conjunction with his Gilded Reverie Lenormand, I believe. So it's a beautiful gold backing on the other side. So nice and plain. We'll try and do the 13 moons from memory. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those cards first. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the astrology of the weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest. And then we're going to get into the tarot reading for the collective. Now, I don't know how long this episode is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be long enough that we read all of the cards. But who knows? If technology craps out once again, I don't think I'm going to restart it for a third time. I'm just going to give up the ghost, and we'll have to schedule it for another time. Good. Thank goodness. I tried to post it several times and be like, guys, for some reason it's working over here now. Come here. Hopefully everybody else does too. So that's my plan. I'm going to pull the cards. I'm going to spread them out. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to send it to my computer so that I can display it as I'm talking to you guys about it. And I think we are going to use the Lubanco Tarot for the reading. The Lubanco Tarot, I already did an unboxing. We did that last week, I believe. And this is the deck I'm using for Card of the Day pulls. So if you're interested in the Lubanco and you want to know more about it, check out the unboxing video that I did last week. It is available. It should be available on both of the Book of Face and the Tube of You, because I was able to simulcast the stream last week with no problems, and then suddenly I have problems this week. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm not going to try. Okay. So we're shuffling, and we are shuffling. And you will see what the 13 moon spread looks like on a blank background. So there are 12 cards, one for each card, for each month of the year. And then that 13 card at the center is the overall theme of the year. All right. I think that's well shuffled. And let us go. So, January. Oh boy, 10 of Wands. February. March. April. Ooh. May. June. July. August. September, October, November, December, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to spread these out a little bit more. 2, 6. Why do I have more space on one side than the other side? Okay. My circle's a little bit uneven. I don't have the structure of the beautiful spread cloth to help me. And the 13th in the middle. Oh boy. Okay, so that's the random card. Let's see. Do we have the Wheel of Fortune card anywhere else coming up in this? No, we do not. So, Katie says, really loving this tarot deck. Glad you're using it for the yearly reading. Me too. It's a really, really beautiful deck. And I'm almost kind of like, oh, I wish I had used it sooner, or wish I had started using it sooner, because it's been sitting in the box that I got from Llewellyn for a really long time. And I've been like working through those unboxings because I got a little bit of a greedy piggy when I'm just like, oh, you'll send me a reviewer's box. I want this and this and this. But it's just like, I do have to actually review these things. I do have to use these things in order to give a objective review. So now that I'm actually using the Lobanco Tarot, I'm just like, oh, I should have picked it up sooner. I should have unboxed it sooner. But now is better than never, right? So the last deck that I have, I believe from that box that I need to do an unboxing and a review of is the Shadowscapes. Because I went with the Verdance Tarot by Stephanie Puman-Law first. So Shadowscapes is coming up, probably will be the deck of the month for February. All right, so the cards are laid out. I did want to also, you know what, let's do the astro-weather first. And then we'll talk about the year card as calculated numerologically, which is the Wheel of Fortune card for this year. So I will look for that card to put next to our random theme card, okay? So first things first, let's do the AstroBiz Digest. So once again, the AstroBiz Digest is by Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. Astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it to be incredibly helpful in planning my personal life as well as my professional life, my tarot business, that sort of things. Also in planning when I'm going to do email readings too. Very, very helpful. So if you want a copy of that for yourself, thetarotlady.com/astrobiz digest, $99 for a year-long subscription, which is honestly, it's a steal. It's a no-brainer. I've been subscribing to it ever since she started doing it. I've been the subscriber to it. And every year when it comes up for renewal, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not canceling that. I will be continuing to subscribe. Thank you very much. So I usually will do the overall transits and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I don't want to give away the farm. This is Teresa's work. I want to be able to highlight it and show how much I appreciate her work. And if you want a copy of it for yourself, you know where to find it. $99 for a year-long subscription. Really, really like easiest purchase I ever made, So for this week, I'm trying not to tempt fate and pull up another tabby tab. I'm going to go ahead and look here. I'm really not understanding why I'm not understanding why this is not broadcasting to the Book of Face. Don't know why. Anyway, okay, weekly forecast for January the 12th to the 18th of 2026. The new moon is on the 18th, so that would be Sunday the 18th. We have a new moon coming up. By the way, this week is plenty busy, with the weekend being a bang up time for business. Save up some energy and hit Saturday and Sunday like you mean it. It will pay off. PR needs to be original and innovative when Venus enters Aquarius on the 17th. So that would be tomorrow, guys. Friday, January 17th. Okay, let me just sit back. My back is just like screaming at me. I'm like wondering why, and I'm like leaning forward like this. So PR needs to be original and innovative when Venus enters Aquarius on the 17th. This means you'll want to try new things, reach different audiences, and expand your work onto the World Wide Web. Test out fresh marketing ideas, scheme new campaign ideas with your team, and use technology wisely. Do all of this, and you'll nail this transit. It's also excellent for community building and teamwork. Connect with your people or your crew for a special event. People appreciate that sense of camaraderie now. Venus remains here until February 10th, so we can take advantage of Venus in Aquarius from the 17th of January until February 10th. So it's a nice long transit. Yeah, Saturday 17th. What did I say? Tomorrow, Saturday the 17th. Okay. New moon in Capricorn on the 18th, Sunday, is the best lunation for new business ventures other than the new moon in Aries. Use this day to launch your biggest, boldest new thing or start sketching plans for future endeavors. Shoot for the moon. Woohoo! Set intentions for organizing, leadership, and ambition. So, today, Friday, January 16th, at 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury squares Chiron. This opens a Pandora's box in the communication department. Everyone is easily triggered for the next 2 days. Be very, very careful about the words you choose. This is not the time to court controversy. At 6:47 a.m., the moon enters Capricorn, your best lunation for high-level meetings, organization, planning, and CEO decisions. It's here until late Sunday, so plenty of time to boss up. Today, Friday, January 16th, is a power day for Capricorn and a weekday for Cancer. Now, for Saturday and Sunday, Saturday is dynamite for business. It starts with Venus-Neptune sextile at 3:33 a.m., which stimulates creative imagination. Use this energy to make progress on artistic projects and marketing content. This is followed by a Sun-Saturn sextile at 5:41 a.m., another fantastic aspect. This one favors pragmatic leadership, organizing, and serious meetings. The energy for both of these aspects hangs around for the entire weekend. Yeah, sorry. Just like, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I did. 7:43 a.m. Venus heads into Aquarius. Be sure to read the info above the daily scopes to learn more. So we already talked about that, Venus in Aquarius, from the 17th of this month until February 10th. All of this great energy is followed by the Sun-Uranus trine at 11:59 a.m., an excellent aspect for group activities, creative originality, speculation, and corporate business. It can bring unusual business opportunities too, so keep an eye out and be ready to pounce. Watch out for overdoing it at 8:14 p.m. when the moon opposes Jupiter. Too much of a good thing could derail today's terrific business vibes. Sunday is busy in a good way. Mercury conjoins with Mars at 2:40 a.m., which is stellar for bold, assertive marketing. Don't hesitate to push your products and offerings over the next 2 days. It will pay off. You can also be courageous in meetings. A bit of moxie will ensure you negotiate a win. The moon touches down on the Mercury Mars conjunction at 10:11 a.m. This is an excellent time to strike while the iron is hot. Market your face off now. The public is ready to spend. The moon forms favorable angles to Saturn at 12:22 p.m. and Uranus at 12:39 p.m. Another gorgeous slot for serious, unique marketing. But it doesn't stop there. The new moon at 2:52 p.m. could be an opportunity to launch something. Hot damn. Learn more about the new moon, which we already talked about. The moon settles into Aquarius at 5:18 p.m., shifting the focus to community, technology, and social justice for the next 3 days. Take care of your people, engage in community building activities, meet with your team, and update your tech gear. If you feel like joining a protest instead, do it. Network when the moon meets Venus at 9:03 p.m. Rub elbows at an event or host a late night shindig for your community. Mercury in sextile to Saturn at 11:09 p.m. keeps the good conversation vibes going well into the evening. If you're at an event, expect lots of serious discussion. Deals could be made over cocktails. A powerful energy surge kicks in when the moon conjuncts Pluto at 11:35 p.m. Who needs sleep when you can hang with movers and shakers? Whew, what a weekend. Listen, whether you market hard, meet and greet, or take the lead with your team, these 2 days have the potential to level up your biz like never before. Don't skimp on this, boss. Psst. For those who are hosting events, expect magic. So both days, Saturday and Sunday, are power days for Capricorn and weekdays for Cancer. So before we move into the big fat tarot reading for the collective for 2026, does anyone have any questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? And I will take a peek at the AstroBiz Digest for you. While I'm waiting, I will take the picture of the cards. That looks beautiful. Wow. Okay, let's do a little bit of cropping. Please keep in mind that lopsided. My circle's lopsided. Yeah, nothing for me waiting on the Capricorn energy to grab me. All right. So we have the cards are placed. The cards are placed and they're ready. But before I go ahead and show you those cards, I do want to talk a little bit about the year card for 2026. Now, I have done episodes in the past where I tell you how to calculate your birth cards and your year cards. I'm pretty sure I've done an episode on this. Please correct me if I'm wrong about that. But for 2026, how you would calculate that, the general year card for everybody for 2026 is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, which 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 would be 10. And then your corresponding major arcana card to 10 would be the Wheel of Fortune. Now, last year, like it usually does go in like 10-year cycles where you're like experiencing you're experiencing the same major arcana cards like every 10 years, but then sometimes it will shift. So like, for example, last year was the Hermit card. That was last year's year card for 2025. Now this year, 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10, which is the Wheel on Fortune, which just so happens to be the next card in the major arcana. So I did want to talk about what the Wheel of Fortune as a year card represents, from Mary K. Greer's wonderful Who Are You in the Tarot, which is all about year cards and birth cards. But first, I wanted to hold up the Wheel of Fortune card from the Lubanco Tarot as I do so. And I did want to lay it out next to our random theme card for the year. Of course, it's probably going to be the very last card that I find. Katie says, definitely you have done a live on the yearly card calculation. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to know that I did. All right. Empress, Fool, Four of Swords, Lovers, Chariot. Come on, Wheel. It is going to be like the last card in the deck, because that's just how it is. All right, so here's the Wheel of Fortune in the Lubanco Tarot. So we will talk about that, what the representation of the Wheel of Fortune like means through the lens of the Lubanco Tarot from like the guidebook. But I'm going to put the Wheel of Fortune next to the Nine of Swords, which is our theme card, smack in the middle. All right. So your year cards. The commencement of a tarot year, general tarot year, would be January 1st, or it could be on your birthday as well. Depends. It's both. There are two different cycles that overlap to some extent, depending on how late your birthday is in the year. So this is, again, from Mary K. Greer's Who Are You in the Tarot? So she looks at both, but many people prefer to focus on just one of these two cycles, shown in Table 10 on page 173. So January to January cycle is outer events, January 1st, starting on January 1st in terms of events happening to you. And then the birthday cycle is inner response and integration. By your birthday, you have integrated the lessons to the extent that you begin acting out that energy. In this way, you have a birthday to birthday inner experience cycle. So you can choose to look at one or the other or both. For the purposes of this reading, we are going to be looking at the commencement of the tarot year starting on January 1st, which is more like outer events. But the way I read the tarot reading for the collective is more advice driven than anything else, like what these cards would advise you to do in each of the different months that they're positionally, their positional meaning. Okay. All right. So interpreting your year cards. So for a Wheel of Fortune year, keep this in mind, right? That last year was a Hermit year. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit of soda. I know I probably should be drinking water, but cherry Coke is what I have right now. So. Right. Ooh. All right. So your Wheel of Fortune year. The beginning of a Wheel of Fortune year is usually unmistakable. After years of solitude and inner focus, you find yourself out in the limelight. You're in the middle of a social whirl or spinning like a top. With the Wheel of Fortune year as your year card, you have come to another turning point. From your past experience, you bring seeds for a new direction, but also burdens and obligations. So keep in mind that this is the general year card, okay? The wheel is the equilibrium of contrary forces irreversibly set in motion. There can be a lot of highs and lows. You probably move or change jobs this year or make some other turnaround in your life. I've seen people lose their job, apartment, and boy or girlfriend all at the same time. Yet, as there's an aura of prosperity and luck about this card, these people usually end up better off at the end of the year than when they began. From the introspection of the hermit, you now find yourself being more social again and expanding your horizons. New opportunities and choices present themselves, and you'll see options you never noticed before. Depending on what projects you completed last year and how well, you begin to see the results in this year. You receive recognition for your accomplishments and appear in public or are thrust out beyond your usual niche in some way. You may find yourself flying high. Hold on one second here. Why is this? This is very strange. This light is plugged in, but for some reason it's not holding its charge, even though I literally have it plugged in. Okay. You begin to see results in this year. You receive recognition for your accomplishments and appear in public or are thrust out beyond your usual niche in some way. You might find yourself flying high and wide, literally or figuratively. It's an excellent time for educational pursuits, communicating, or publishing, and for initiating or expanding projects, although these seeding actions may not bear fruit for some time yet. Now's the time, though, to set goals, acknowledge dreams, and make long-range plans, visualizing the whole before becoming embroiled in the details. This is also a year in which things literally turn up, often as the result of processes begun long ago. For example, friends not seen in a decade may pop in. In terms of learning, they serve to make you aware of the effects of your actions over this period, with all of the growth and changes time brings. All in all, this is a fortunate year in which experience gained as the seasons turn helps you focus on your new direction. So that is what a year, what a Wheel of Fortune year entails. In general, don't forget to calculate your own year card with your birthday. So just as you would calculate the year card, you would take your birthday and this year and add up all of the digits and then add to subtract down to a number between 1 and 22 or 1 and 21, basically matching it up to the major arcana. All right, let's take a look at the cards that came up for this reading. Let's see. And hopefully this comes up upright. Hey, it worked. All right, so this might be a little bit difficult to see, but I am going to pick up all of the cards as we're reading them. Yes, I do think that's true, Katie. Intense year incoming. I believe so too. So what we have shown here, the very tippy top of the circle is January. So the first place at the 12 o'clock position is January. And then the card to the left of it is December. And the card to the right of it is February. So we are going to be reading in a clockwise motion, starting with January, ending with December, and then we will look at the center card. And there are actually 2 cards in the center now because I did pull the Wheel of Fortune from the Lubanco Tarot, specifically because it is that year card numerologically. Now, the one that I pulled that's random, or as random as tarot seldom is the 9 of Swords, smack in the center. Thank you. I thought so too. It looks pretty on that cloth. Yeah, I was also going to I was thinking about using another Ciro Marchetti cloth that I have, which is it's blue and it has a circle of all of the major arcana words, like Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, Hanged Man in a circle, and then it has I think it has the aces in each corner on a blue background, but the flip side of that is a deep purple. So you guys have probably seen that cloth before too. I do have to iron this though, because it's shiny. You can see all of the wrinkles. So I should probably iron and steam this poor altar cloth. All right. So let us start with, and I'm going to pull the divinatory meaning from the guidebook as well on these. And I do want your feedback as we go as well. What does the 9 of Swords mean to you? What are you looking at in this particular card, especially the Lubanco Tarot's version of this card? Or if you always see the Fool card as this, what do you see? All right, so let's start with January, which is the 10 of Wands, which I have definitely been feeling 10 of Wands energy for this month so far. And keep in mind, this card is representative of all of January, even though it is January 16th. We're about halfway through the month. I've definitely been feeling this 10 of Wands. And the way the Lubanco Tarot depicts it is instead of the branches or the wands or the staffs being on top of this person's back, it looks like he's a mountain climber and he's got this bundle dropping off of his back and kind of weighing him down. But it's just if he allows those sticks to weigh him down, he will fall. So that's what I'm seeing when I'm looking at this 10 of Wands for January. So I do want your opinion as you're watching this, whether you're watching live or watching the replays. So please put your comments into the chat and let me know what you're seeing. So divinatory meanings, even when our burden is unbearable, even when the impossible seems to weigh on our shoulders, even when we feel like we are hanging by a thread, it is always important not to lose sight of the horizon. You may be closer to the summit than you think. May this card help you look up. Don't lose your footing, but don't be afraid to look around and be proud of what you carry. Yeah, definitely 10 of Wands, definitely for January. Yeah, certainly feeling that energy. So usually I wait for people's comments or interpretations, but I'm going to just move right through this, giving my own interpretation and then looking in the guidebook, because I already feel like we're so behind the 8 ball with all of our technical troubles at the start of the episode. So I'm just going to move forward at my own pace, but if I'm going too fast or too slow, just let me know. I will try and adjust my pace accordingly. But I'm seeing things and I don't want to lose anything because sometimes it's like a ticker tape, and it's just like if I try to go slower or go faster, then I end up like losing the interpretations, and I don't want to do that. So Katie says, I was thinking it looks like he is hanging on so he doesn't impale himself on them. That too. Because like if he drops that and he drops himself, he's dropping himself on top of those. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Let's move on to February. So February, we have the Five of Cups. Ooh, that's a harsh vibe for February, for like the month of love, especially if you celebrate Valentine's Day. Like, whoo, Five of Cups. Look at this. Really pretty. And it's not, to me, it's an unusual depiction of the Five of Cups. It kind of deviates from the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'm cool with that. So the Five of Cups is often a card of like playing the what if game, what might have been, that sort of thing. Depiction or divinatory meaning from the guidebook is loss, processing sadness, making space for the great landscape of grief, even in its dramatic moments, and mulling over regrets. But this card doesn't. It's almost like this card has a feeling of almost freedom and beauty to it. So it doesn't feel as, I don't know, it doesn't feel quite as mournful as the Five of Cups, as I usually see the Five of Cups. By the way, P.S. I'm not reading with reversals using this deck. I think it's a personal choice that every tarot reader has to make, and sometimes it's I don't read reversals at all, and sometimes it's certain decks. Certain decks lend itself to reversed meanings, and then other decks don't. For the Lobanco Tarot, for the first couple of days that I've been using it, I did not feel the need to read with reversals. So I'm not reading with reversals, or I'm not reading this particular tarot deck with reversals. So just giving you a heads up that it's just like, it's not that all of them came up upright. It's simply because I'm not using reversals with the Lobanco Tarot. I just don't feel it's necessary. So that is the Five of Cups for February. To me, it's almost like February weather kind of dictates our mood. It's kind of gray. It's kind of broody. Giving the space to process your grief without becoming lost in it. That's what I'm getting for February in the Five of Cups. All right, March. Whoa, March. So March, that nice red-orange card right next to the Five of Cups, that is the Page of Wands for March. Yeah, going back to the Five of Cups, lonely, regretful, but looking with hope into the future, possibly. Mm-hmm. So for March, the Page of Wands, it feels like this energy, this like Stella got her groove back, very like fiery, very like taking control. It's almost like, again, with that change of season where, with March, we start to get into that spring in the Northern Hemisphere. The warmth starts to return. The light starts to return. We're not in like the doldrums or the grays anymore. It's just like, it's almost like wham, it's just like fire, So Page of Wands. Ooh, just flip to it. Page of Wands. Beautiful and decorated figure, licked by flames of passion and drive, painted and celebratory and ready. Um, the foolhardy passion at the beginning of a creative journey. The recklessness of the learning beginner. A person with drive and passion, but without necessarily the experience to execute, but there is a chance. Fast, fiery, flashy, and sometimes without clear direction, but oh, what style. Yes, exactly. It's an exciting looking card. It's got energy, it's got passion, it's got fire. So to me, it's almost like with that change of the season, with that light starting to creep in, you start to get that energy back. But there is, it's almost like a bit of caution that goes along with the reading of this for March, where it's just like, hey, you got your fire back, but it's just like, but still, you may want to be a little bit careful about like how you wield your fire. Because you got the wand up top here and it's sparking, but it's just like, but you could burn yourself. So just be a little bit careful. But like there's definitely style and flash and bravado. I'm really liking this card for March. Yes, almost looks like she is conjuring something. Very cool looking card. All right, so that's for March. April, I got a little excited for my birthmark, but this King of Cups is a little bit creepy looking. I'm not going to lie, but so this is for April. We're getting the King of Cups for my birth month. And he looks a little creepy, guys. It's like, imagine if you were swimming and out of the depths of your swim comes this figure. Like, I would probably poop my pants. I would poop my scuba suit if I saw that. So the King of Cups for April. The depths turn darker and beautifully lush. The King of Cups stares at us unblinking, fathomless wisdom in his shining gaze. He holds forth a cup in offering, shimmering and strange. It would seem hard for us to grasp, and yet he offers it just the same. Mastery over the deepest seas of creativity, emotion, and diplomacy. Forward thinking, structure to what can be tumultuous seas. The King of Cups can be intimidating in his depths. Yeah, no shit. But that's because competence has gravitas. Ooh, I like that. Competence has gravitas. So it's not that he is intimidating, though he is intimidating, but it's because he's competent. He earned it. He earned this kind of intimidating quality because he's competent. He can swim in those depths, and so can we. Yeah, goth, moody King of Cups. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. He freaks me out a little bit. And oftentimes when I do this reading for the collective, when we're going from card to card, month to month, it often becomes this kind of like, if you do this in this month, then the natural progression is this card in this month. So it's almost like for March, if we tend our fire, and we allow it to grow, we allow ourselves the bravado, right? And the strength and the confidence and the courage, we can then attain the depths of April and the King of Cups. So let me know if you're seeing anything else for the King of Cups while we move into, so that's April. May, we are getting the Six of Pentacles. Now, just to let you guys know, we started the intro to the sixes for Cardslingers Coast to Coast today on our YouTube. youtube.com/@cardslingerscc. So that is the second live episode we've done of this year. And it's the intro to the sixes. So we talked a little bit about each six. So it's not really surprising to me that a six would come up for the month of May. I don't know. Six of Pentacles. So the sixes to me are about resources. Six of Pentacles is about resources and generosity and charity. So you've got the hands outstretched, you've got the hands giving. It's kind of like it's vibes, you know? And you don't have like the traditional scale symbol, which usually shows up in the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the Six of Pentacles, but you still got that sense of give and taking in this card. So for May, the Six of Pentacles is the power of generosity, given and received, being in a position to be more generous, giving away one's wealth, either monetarily or through other support. Because keep in mind, yes, it is the Six of Pentacles. Yes, Pentacles is usually about coins, about the body, about the earth, about finances and career. But wealth is more than money. Wealth or generosity can be more than giving of your money. It can also be giving your support, giving your time, volunteering. So there's so many ways to be generous. And I think in the month of May, you will be discovering what it means to be generous, in which ways you can be generous. It doesn't just have to be monetarily. And it doesn't have to be just from you, too. It can also be, how are people generous with you? You know, how can you be more receiving of their generosity? How can it be more of a two-way street? All right. For June, yeah, April, May, June, yes? Yes. June. 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, June. So June, we have the Five of Swords. Now, we've talked about the Five of Swords on Cardslingers. That was the last set of cards that we did. And we talked a little bit about how prickly the fives can be, how spiky the fives can be, because it's halfway in and halfway out. And sometimes you don't know which it is. But the Five of Swords, to me, is about failed mediation. It's about people walking away from a situation, but nobody's really happy about it. So let's take a look at, and here's the Lubanco Tarot's version of the Five of Swords. Oh, going back to May's, Six of Pentacles does look like the coins are falling out, and the hands look like they are both giving, but also could be begging for the money too. Yes. So Five of Swords for June. Flipped right to it. A figure strides away from a scene of conflict, hoarding their spoils. So the three swords, right? Behind them, others pick up the pieces. The sickly yellow sky of confrontation, of conflict, of pride, ignoring hurt in the name of success. Winning is nice, but is it worth it? The quintessential I got mine card, and in the worst way. So it's interesting that this card is following the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles for May is about generosity. The Five of Swords for June is about getting what's yours and not in a good way. So I think in much the same way that it's just like when you have a good card leading to a better card in the next month, so too, I think this is almost like a warning about if you are not generous, if you do not heed those lessons from the Six of Pentacles, you may result in the next month with the Five of Swords, which is kind of like withdrawing and getting what's yours, and not in the good way. And we might also be dealing with those kind of situations in June. So I would caution, go back when June comes around, go back, take a look at this reading and be like, what do I need to know from this card? Or what situations are reflecting this card's energy, and how can I change that? And do I want to change it? I know I would want to change it. All right, hydration station. I'm going to have to grab more water. The feeling I'm going to need more. All right, so for July, we have the Hierophant card. Now, this is very interesting because we had the Five of Swords for June, and now we have the Fifth Major Arcana card for July. Because just know that your minor arcana is reflective of your major arcana, and they do have ties to it too. Like the Five of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands, and the Five of Cups are all related to the Hierophant card, which is the five of the major arcana. Right. Exactly. Warning, warning for June, and then further warning for July as well. So the Hierophant, this is a really spooky Hierophant. It's very two-faced. Look at this. It's almost like you have the face that he wants you to see and the face that he doesn't want you to see. That's really creepy. So let's take a look at the guidebook. So a figure in finery stares ahead, its eyes piercing through an ornate mask that slips from the face. In its many hands, knowledge unfolds from scrolls and books of untold age. The finery of its garments creates an intimidating silhouette. Its watchful gaze is penetrating, hard to read. At this point in the journey through the major arcana, as the Fool sets on their way, through the power to create, the power to self-reflect, figures of nurturing and figures of power, they move outside structures of the immediate to the society and culture around them. They may turn to society, culture, or religion for answers about what is around them. The Hierophant of this deck, with his sharp eyes and alien mask that hides his true face, is the archetype of the rules we are given at a young age. Through society, through religion, through traditions, and social norms. But the Hierophant prompts us to ask, who makes the rules, and whom do those rules serve? At the first encounter, one may be dazzled, sometimes confused, sometimes relieved at how easy it is to be taken in. This is a long interpretation for the Hierophant, by the way. I'll try and paraphrase. The Hierophant of this deck takes a more critical eye to the structures and rules handed to us, to the just so furnished cage of do as you're told, or of the bedrock beneath the as it's always been. The first time we see this kind of figure or institution, it can overwhelm us and blind us. The weight of tradition and those that came before us unfolds in scrolls, literal and metaphorical. Yet this Hierophant is not welcoming. Though the figure may catch the breath and command attention, it is meant to be watched with wariness as prey would watch a predator. The mask is hypnotic but reveals intentions not overtly stated. It extends hands of blessing and knowledge, but do we let its hands touch our own? We must learn our traditions to understand where we come from and where our unconscious biases may lie. To ignore where you come from is ignorance, but so is blind adherence to it. In readings particularly dealing with identity building and queries, look to the Hierophant as guidance thusly. Understand the traditions you were raised with, where you come from, where the power is held, and how it affects the story of what surrounds you. The history of society and tradition shows a history of power. What is done shows conversely what is not done. In some cases, it can be a more neutral symbol of tradition, society, and culture, or a fear of the unfamiliar. Ooh, that's a big one for July, guys. Study one tradition critically and openly is to hopefully open yourself to the possibility of other traditions. Study tradition with an open heart and a critical mind. So what is the Hierophant trying to tell you about the month of July? And are you seeing it neutrally? Because I'm not seeing this neutrally at all. My first glance at it was the fearful, was the not welcoming. All right, August. So we have some run of major arcanas here coming up. Not just the Hierophant, but we also have the Star for August, the World for September. Okay, so let's take a look at those. The Star is really pretty, by the way, guys. So for August, it's almost like a balm after, like a balm, or like heart soothing after the sharpness of the Hierophant in July. So the Star to me is usually about emotional healings. It's the wishes come true card. It's a sign that like what you want is attainable, but it definitely has more of an emotional healing quality to it as well. From the crash of the devil and the tower, one after the other, we find then the Star, and we breathe. We take a breath of fresh air, of calm, of renewal and hope. The renewal of the Star is a breath, a recollection of the self. In the wake of tragedy, or even just new self-knowledge, it is time to collect oneself to find out what really matters. Yeah. For the Hierophant, it's striking me as a big thinking time and think about our morals and our choice of actions. Yeah, I'm getting that too. It's not just like, why do we do it? It's not just about like, doing what's always been done, but more about thinking about like why do we believe what we do? Why do we enact those traditions? What is it about those traditions that we actually do believe in, and what is it about those traditions that we do by rote? So that's something to think about in July. All right, back to August and the Star. The Star often seeks connection with nature, listening to the rustle of the trees, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet and on your skin, hearing the rush of the river beside you. It's a search for the state of quietness that allows thoughts to flow in and out like water as we breathe in the air of the present. The Star is sometimes about an understanding of one's sincere self and how to build a hope that feels personal. Time of collecting oneself, letting the sense of self reform with new knowledge, new grief, new wonder, new curiosity, and savoring beauty even in our widening experience of the dark and difficult world. Beauty as a state of mind set by the self rather than others. The Star sometimes signifies someone with a trueness of the self that radiates a genuine steadiness of character. There is beauty set by arbitrary standards that come and go, but the Star is about the personal nature of beauty, of what beauty means to the individual, and embracing the differences from person to person. The Star takes their time to reach their own conclusions, takes a breath, and tastes the scent of fresh rain on the air and savors it. They ask themselves, who am I now after all of this? And they allow themselves a smile even with new knowledge. They say, I am here. They feel the earth beneath their feet, and they take the time to look around and remember, and what a beautiful day it can be. That is wonderful for your birthday, Katie, your birth month. August sounds lovely. Yay for more birthday. Big birthday year for me, not ready. I don't know. I think the star is telling you that you are, or a lot more ready than you think you are. All right, so September, we have the World card, which is another big major arcana card. And the World card is represented by a many-armed figure dancing in the clouds. The world is a state of being, but not quite an earthly one. We sometimes think of the world as a state of oneness, of superhumanity. Think about the world as like closure, an integration, the integration that happens before a new cycle begins. That's what I think of when I think of the world. The world is depicted as one who has many states, many beings layered. If death is about feeling the weight of one's smallness in the vastness of time, the world is about understanding it and accepting it and feeling connectivity within the greater system of all things. By accepting our mortality and our small place in the largeness, we can allow ourselves to be renewed with purpose. The world is about having control over one's level of zoom from the smallest personal pains to a global howl to the cool nothingness of space and time. It's collected wisdom of not only oneself, but of generations, of civilizations, of cultures overlapping and beyond our scope. When we harness the world, we look at our problems by zooming out, so far out. We must use the collective and often contradictory wisdom of so many around us to look at our problems from all sides. So the beauty of the star and defining that beauty on one's own terms, right? And the beauty and the stillness from the star in August gives rise to almost the integration of lessons in September with the World card. All right, 3 more cards to go for the months, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords as the year card, like the theme card, is not so great necessarily. It's not really a positive card to my mind, but we'll take a look at what the guidebook has to say. Yeah, positive feeling to that World card for sure. So the World card is September. October, we have the Three of Wands, which almost looks like this figure is like throwing 3 staffs into the air. So the Three of Wands oftentimes to me is a card of like looking to the horizon and looking at the big picture. So this is for October. A burst of creative energy begins to emerge. Preparation and planning for the manifestation of big ideas. Feeling the first sproutings of your efforts. It feels good to make progress. Mind that delicate balance. So Octobers are usually like really expansive and big for my business because, tarot reader, even though, hi guys, I read tarot 365 days a year. But for October, like that's my big time for tarot readings for my business. And it just seems like, I don't know, preparation and planning, manifestation of big ideas. I don't even think I have that big idea yet because it's October. But I think that there's some kind of like aha moments that are going to be happening in October that's going to give rise to like a new project. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a new aspect of my business, maybe it's a new aspect of your business. So I would say for October, it's just like, look out for that fiery energy, that creative energy, and see where it leads. You might not know what it looks like, but follow those creative impulses and see where they can lead. Even if you don't, even and especially when you don't know what it looks like yet. All right. November is the Four of Pentacles. Ooh, this is another kind of creepy card. So the Four of Pentacles, decorated figure clings to gold, wound in fine gilded chains. So kind of like a nod to the miserly aspects of the Four of Pentacles. Their mask is impassive, and their ornamentation dangles and shimmers, seeming to tie them to the riches themselves. Stability through care and planning, security through control, and keeping a tight grip on one's finances and life. So in November, we might be feeling some kind of way with our finances. We might be clinging really tightly to them. We might be budgeting, or tying up loose ends, or like really looking at our income and feeling a certain way about it. But it's just like, we might be clinging tightly, but just don't. Oftentimes when I see this card, like the Four of Pentacles, it's just like, I get that sense of like, anything that you cling tightly to, it's not like you don't have to cling tightly to something, because when you cling tightly to something, that's usually it usually ends up being suffocated, and it's just like, you don't need to control everything in order to like in order to feel control or security. It's almost like you try to control everything else, and you end up like making it way worse than it has to be. So like, when you feel that kind of like feeling of control, I would say that's the time to take a deep breath and like let go more and surrender more, because it's just going to tie you up in knots. You're not going to really have freedom. I don't know. What do you guys think about the Four of Pentacles for November? And then finally for December, we have the Page of Swords. Actually, I think I pulled this card the other day. He almost looks like a magician. So for December, the Page of Swords is excitement about big new ideas with great fervency. A burning desire to learn and to teach, to declare. Don't forget to put your feet on solid ground before you announce your plans to the world. Patience and care will not dull your mind, only hone it for the proper strike. I feel like I pulled that yesterday. Did I? I can't remember. November, clinging to the money stops it flowing in. Ooh, that's a good interpretation, Katie. I like it. So for December, Page of Swords to me is like making sure that you're grounded, that your feet are firmly placed, in order to be able to allow the inspiration to flow and come out of you. Because it's just like, if you don't have that groundedness, you don't really, you're not really able to channel the ideas and give those ideas form. That's kind of what I'm seeing in this card, where it's just like, he's reaching up his sword, and it's like almost like the energy that's coming off the sword is like a hand. It's like an extending an energetic hand out, but you're not really able to channel and give form to these ideas unless you got both feet firmly placed on the ground. Yes, Page of Swords looks like he is sparking with energetic ideas. It's interesting. All right. So we have all of the cards of the months read. Now, the final two cards that we're going to read. I'm going to start with the random theme card, or as random as tarot seldom is, which you're going to see at the center of the reading, and that is the Nine of Swords. So this is our theme for the year 2026, randomly pulled. And then we're also going to look in the guidebook at the Wheel of Fortune, which is the numerological year card. So Nine of Swords, typically I call that the nightmare card, or the card of like cycling worry or anxiety or doubt. That's not all, but that's typically what I see when I see this card. Nightmares, anxiety, a lonely despair. The Nine of Swords is about being in the thick of the pain, so in the thick of it that a solution seems abstract or impossible. So this is like our big theme for 2026, I think. It's like, it's going to be a heavy year. It's going to be a hard year. And it's almost like we have to remember to not be so deep in the thick of our pain that a solution is not present. There is a solution there. It is present, but because if we get so lost in despair, the solution seems abstract or impossible. So that is our theme for 2026. It's the moment before one even has the presence of mind to say, yes, this is bad. The next step is then the question, what is to be done? Without the step of acknowledging our pain, it is harder to move past it. Naming our problems better equips us with direction towards solutions. Like, this is a really big crux of like tapping, or EFT, the emotional freedom technique, which is I'm also a practitioner of. And the big part of that is the introspection. It is the setup statement, which is acknowledging where you're at. You can't move past something. You can't really tap into and move the energy without first acknowledging where you are. Like, this is sucky. Like, even though I am anxious about the state of the world and my place in it, I love and I accept and I forgive myself. Like, you have to acknowledge how you're feeling before you go ahead and do the rest of the work. You know, the rest of the tapping sequence, the rest of the words. Like, I love and accept and I forgive myself. It's very hard to believe that. It's very hard to believe I love and I accept and I forgive myself if you are not first starting with where you currently are, how you're currently feeling. So that's how I'm choosing to see the Nine of Swords as the theme card for 2026, where it's just like, we can't solve these problems, either our internal problems or in our individual problems, or even our global problems, without first acknowledging that there are problems. If we're in denial about it, there's nothing that can be done. So we have to first acknowledge, I'm in pain. This is bad. Now that I've said that, this is bad. Now I can move forward with what's to be done. So that's the Nine of Swords for the theme card for 2026, which is heavy. I will admit it's heavy, but it's a much kinder interpretation and a much more introspective and self-aware interpretation. And I think a more helpful interpretation than life sucks. Life sucks. This is nightmares and worries and I'm anxious. Yes. Yeah. Nine of Swords seems to be reflecting the darkness in the world around us. Yes. Yeah. But through that, we do have the Wheel of Fortune card, which is our year card. And the Wheel of Fortune is about luck. It's about karma. It's about change. But we can't affect change without acknowledging how bad things are. There's no impetus for change if we don't actually realize that things are bad. So the interpretation from the guidebook for the Wheel of Fortune, which is numerologically the year card for 2026. The Wheel of Fortune reminds us of the ever rising and falling of rhythms of time. We climb to the summit and we must eventually descend. At higher speeds, we fly high and may crash if we are not careful. The Wheel of Fortune urges us to remember the transient nature of all things. Nothing is forever, and we must take that into account with our planning. We may mourn happiness's tendency to stay for such short times, but it is all the more reason to savor those moments. Learn to acknowledge the down times with the up. Though the buffeting may be exhausting, in time you will get used to the rhythms. Life rarely lets us get too comfortable. Even in stasis, there is often a discomfort, a waiting or hoping for the shoe to drop. If we acknowledge and plan for it calmly, without letting it freeze us, we become stronger. If you try to fight the bucking horse, you'll get thrown off. Learn to ride through its temperamental movements, and you might just stay in the saddle. Now, we talked a little bit about the world card as the, not the world card, the Wheel of Fortune card as the year card for 2026 in the first episode of Cardslingers for 2026. And Jamie said that if we find the center of the wheel, we're not as affected by it. But if we're on the outside of the wheel, we're just going around in circles. Instead of being at the center, if we are at the center, we're in the eye of the storm. We're calm, we're centered, we're collected. We're not allowing the wheel to run us ragged. So that was Jamie's version of what the Wheel of Fortune signifies, or how to manage that Wheel of Fortune energy. And I think from the Lubanco Tarot and the guidebook, it's kind of their way of saying it. Like, learn to work with that energy and you will stay in the saddle. Yep. Wheel of Fortune takes us back to that Hierophant card, yeah? And what are morals and actions we take? What are our morals and actions we take and the karma it will bring us, yeah? Yeah. Whew. That's a reading. And actually, it didn't take us that long to do, which is kind of nice. So for our tarot reading for the collective episodes, I don't do the mid-episode reading because the entire episode is the reading. So thank you all for joining me. I am going to do the weekend forecast. So an oracle card to get us through the weekend of January 17th and 18th of 2026. So let me go ahead and take that down. All right. And a reminder that we do this Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please tune in again next week. Big year, Katie. Yep. Big year. All right. Weekend forecast from either the Starseed Oracle or the Work Your Light. We'll see. Besides the astrology that we started off with. Big business weekend, too. Ooh, very much in keeping with the astrology of this weekend. Leap, you go first, the universe will catch you. Look at that. Such a pretty card. Now, where are my guidebooks? Underneath my phone, of course. All right. That looks like it's from the Work Your Light. Let's see. Yes, it is. So Leap is an action card, obviously. Page 60. All right. So, life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you are being called to leap toward or away from, but you are scared to make the move. Or perhaps you are waiting for a big fat sign or a signier sign or an instruction manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know and hope for something new. And it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising. And right now, this is how you're being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip. To allow once was so full of life to fall away leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what once was. But in the morn of spring, new shoots begin to appear and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. So you go first. Take a good run up and leap. So that is your weekend forecast for January 17th to the 18th of 2026, along with our big fat tarot reading for the collective for the year 2026. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I did. I have really started to learn to love the tarot reading for the collective. The 13 moon spread used to be like my least favorite spread to do for clients, and now it's my most favorite. And it's because of you guys, and it's because of this live stream. It's such a great it's a great spread to have advice from the tarot for every month of the year, and then the overall theme card. I just think it's a really, really good spread. It's almost my favorite spread. The Celtic Cross is probably my favorite spread, though. Can't lie. Really good snapshot reading. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, Hillary. Everyone who catches this later, thank you so much, Katie. Thank you to everyone watching this. It's really appreciated. Again, we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join me again next week for another episode. I don't know what it's going to be on, but we will figure something out. And once again, thank you all so much for watching, for tuning in live or on the replay. I so appreciate it. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhillary.com. I have phone readings, I have Zoom readings, and I have email readings available for you. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Hillary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. And I will see you next time on Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.